Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a review of the WLmouse Miao, an entirely cat-themed magnesium fingertip mouse that weighs in at 33 grams. I mean, this design, it's genuinely bizarre, in my opinion, but it's not a fingertip mouse that I found egregious shape-wise, similar to something like the G-Wolves HSK Pro, which is just really tiny. And as many of you know, WLmouse is not known for their creativity when it comes to mouse shape. So you might be wondering, like, did they directly copy something? Is this just like a scaled down BeastX Mini, Finalmouse Small? And the way I would put it is it's kind of a mix of these two budget Chinese fingertip mice from last year, the Dharma Shark M5 and the Keychron M4. Much if this had fully flat sides, Jesus, this would just be a Dharma Shark M5 clone, but it does have some curvature. And yeah, you can see compared to the Finalmouse Small that the Miao is like thinner at the grip width. But I just find it to be a pretty familiar feeling, like fingertip wise. There's obviously not as much room on the sides, and for like the 3-gram weight difference, I definitely prefer the functionality of having a full mouse, just the better weight distribution. But yeah, it's hard to complain about the weight of a 33-gram mouse. I think for fans of fingertip grip mice, this is one of the just better executed ones across the board. Obviously, there's something like the Pulsar X2F, which is in a beta, and as you can see, it's just much wider. This angle shows it off pretty well. The Miao is just more of what I think of when I hear fingertip grip mouse. Like, it's a very small, nimble mouse, where the X2F is just more of a chopped mouse. It has more of that regular mouse feeling. That being said, it's not a finalized product, so I don't really know what it's going to wind up like at release, but the Miao, it is currently available. And just in terms of the mouse itself, this is excellently built. There's obviously, I say obviously because WLmouse hasn't had any flexing issues really to note ever in my experience. So the magnesium build is solid on both this and my new BeastX Pro solid-sided unit. And the clicks especially, I have the Omron opticals. There is like no side-to-side wobble whatsoever, just minimal amounts of pre-travel. I mean, this is a fantastic click feeling, perfect for a fingertip mouse where you don't want the actuation force to be too heavy. So yeah, really just not a lot to critique about the button experience, aside from the side buttons, of course. And they do give you the option for the TTC Nihil switches. Obviously, it's like a different click travel design, but I do have those on the BeastX. Yeah, the Omron opticals, you've probably tried implementations of them by now, but they do feel very solid in this case. Like I said, the build quality's good. Scroll wheel, really nothing to note there. I mean, it does have the fucking paw design. I really do wonder if many people are turned off by the cat design on this mouse. They even provide you like stickers to fill in the paw on the side. It's pretty absurd. That this is also like a $150 solid performing mouse. With the side buttons though, they are very tiny. With all fingertip grip mice, it's just not viable to like actually differentiate between these while playing Fortnite and keeping a stable grip. So yeah, they don't get a pass there, but they are better than G-Wolf side buttons on fingertip mice, which is a very fucking low bar, but it is what it is. And yeah, quality-wise, after a bit of use, there's really not too much to note, but I could see these developing a lot of pre-travel and getting like a mushy feeling over time, but if you just use them for like a moderately important bind, I think the experience will be fine. Yeah, fingertip mice have, for one reason or another, never clicked for me. In the case of G-Wolves, it was just really due to the shapes. With like Dharma Shark and Keychron, the quality was pretty low, but I do think those were solid budget buys. But yeah, with this, I actually think the shape, like I mentioned, it's not really bad. It's a bit small for my preferences, but if you are somebody who desires something smaller, lower than like the BeastX Mini Finalmouse Small, this will, I mean, probably satisfy you. There's just not much wrong with it. I obviously have my objections to fingertip mice, which are mostly due to the density and not really having a weight advantage. Like, if this was 25 grams, for example, a solid 10 below, like what we consider a light, small mouse, then I'd be like, yeah, fucking throw your money at it. But I just see this as another option in the WLmouse lineup. I like that it's the same $145 price as their other options. So we don't really see the classic fingertip grip mouse tax with this, and I do think it could be fairly popular. One minor nitpick I had is, it's all a matter of your personal finger placement, but at some points my ring finger is at a much more narrow point than my pinky finger was when I gripped the mouse like towards the back, but I just adjusted my finger placement and it was fine. But yeah, the shape, if it had flat sides, I actually don't know if it would be better. Probably not. And just an interesting thing to note is that for a fingertip grip mouse, this was surprisingly claw grippable, because it is pretty high up towards the back of the mouse, and you're obviously not going to get any hump placement in the back of your hand like Viper V3 Pro or a traditional claw grip mouse, but if you apply a lot of pressure downwards with like the inverse of your knuckles, I was at least able to get a surprisingly comfortable grip that I had a lot of control of, but it was such an aggressive grip I couldn't really maintain it, and it's just more of an interesting feature than something I would actually recommend, like, considering the mouse for, and my camera's frozen. Yeah, as far as the rest of the mouse goes, the coating is very dry. I'm not going to say it feels gritty, but it's definitely not like a rubberized, painted feeling coating. They do provide in the box, as you can guess, some cat paw grips, and what's the other one? Oh yeah, it's like the same thing, just in a different color. So it's pretty, you're covered on that front. You could also throw on the X-ray pad boardzy zebra grips if you want some like animal mixing. Yeah, I had no issues using the mouse in its natural state. It never felt slippery or really subpar in any way. It was just a bit too small for me and not usable in my main game. So that's, you know, that kind of kills a mouse. People who are really bought into fingertip mice, I think this could be popular. If you're like an HSK truther, perhaps the Miao could even feel large. One thing is it's noticeably higher button height, just along with size in general. I mean, it's crazy how small the HSK is. I can't get over it. And yeah, one of the final things to talk about is the sensor implementation software experience. It's running a 3950, identical specs to the rest of WLmouse's lineup, so there's nothing new to expect. I do report like occasional wireless stutters and wireless interference issues, and it's not like something that's going to be affecting you on a minute-to-minute basis, but it's just like every so often I will feel like a wireless hiccup. I don't know if it's a polling rate drop. And yeah, I've had a few people in my comments tell me it's a Ryzen issue, which is entirely possible. I'm not saying across the board you're going to have a subpar sensor implementation, just that occasionally happens with WLmouse. I blame this fucking cat dongle, but who knows, really. And yeah, as for the battery life, obviously, if you're using 8K polling with optical switches on a small mouse with a relatively small 220 milliamp hour battery, the battery's just going to drain stupidly quick. But on 1K high-speed mode or 2K polling, I'd imagine you'll get like 5 to 7 days of use out of it, maybe a bit more, but the battery life definitely did not wow me. And yeah, I'm not too sure what else there is to cover. The WLmouse stock skates, the dots are really bad, so I threw on some Jade Airs. I was also using it on like a very fast glass pad just to see how this experience is, because I know some people shill it, but it's not better in my opinion. Yeah, in conclusion, who is this mouse for? Fingertip grip mouse fans and furries. If you're both of those things, you probably fucking have this thing ordered already. But yeah, it's not going to be something I main. I'll hold off on the seal of approval, but it is a very good, like, accessible magnesium, like, kind of premium feeling fingertip grip mouse. So I don't hate it, but it's not my most recommended WLmouse either. If you enjoyed the video, have any other questions, comparison requests, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be all. Peace out. WLmouse Miao Gaming.